Have we really been left behind for a long time when it comes to change? Or have we just been fooled for so long by the very people who were supposed to lead the reforms? That's the question that came up after the bold statement made by Vice President Sara Duterte in front of our fellow Filipinos in Kuwait. In her speech, she firmly said that in other countries, kids are already learning robotics and coding. In just 3 or 4 years, kids in other countries already know how to read, while here, we still have high school students who can't. That's an observation that's hard to deny. Yes, we can really feel how slow the education system is in the Philippines. But behind her admission, there's an even heavier question. Who is really responsible for us being stuck in this paper and pencil education that she mocked? This is where it comes in. The criticism from the Student Council Alliance of the Philippines. According to their Secretary General, Matthew Silverio, Duterte has no moral right to lecture about technological advancements in education. Why? Because she herself was the Secretary of the Department of Education for more than 2 years. A time filled with promises and funding. But teachers and students were still left with the old system. In September 2022, she even assured that the crisis in basic education would be solved within 6 years in exchange for an additional P100 billion in funding. But what was the result? Instead of classrooms, teachers, and modern equipment, what we saw were piling problems, low scores in international assessments, lack of facilities, and students who still struggle with reading and writing. And it doesn't end there. Then came the laptop mess. Under her leadership, the Bayanihan 2 funds were used to buy laptops that cost almost 58,300 pesos each. That's even more expensive than a MacBook, but the specs were old and slow. Instead of increasing the number of teachers who could be helped, the number of units was reduced because the price was so high. According to the 2022 COA annual audit report itself, the procurement was not only overpriced, but the delivery was also delayed. The result: a project that was supposed to be a bridge to digital learning ended up as a heavy burden on the nation's coffers. So if robotics and coding are the measures of modernization, we ended up with overpriced laptops that, until now, are just gathering dust. What hurts even more is that the laptop issue isn't the only thing tied to Duterte's name. One of the most prominent controversies is the use of confidential funds. Funds that should have had clear allocation, but were used in a department whose purpose is education, not intelligence. In the eyes of many critics, this is the height of lack of direction. Public funds were used for something far from the real needs of the students. So when people heard her lecture in Kuwait, many couldn't help but call it a Kapal Mux moment. Because how can you say you'll leave the Philippines when you yourself had 2 years to catch up but didn't lay out any concrete solutions? The painful truth is, while other countries are busy training their youth in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics, we're busy investigating where it all went. The billions in funds. While foreign kids are already learning to code even before they know how to write an essay, our teachers are still waiting for proper chalk and chairs in their classrooms. So with these statements, the mirror is clear. It's not enough to just go on stage in another country and say we're being left behind. A true leader doesn't just point out problems, but sacrifices and create solutions. If not, every word becomes empty, just another way of politicking and preparing for the 2028 elections. Fellow Filipinos, this issue is not just about Sara Duterte. It's a reflection of the state of our nation. A reminder that education should not be used as a stage for politics, but as a real investment in the future of every Filipino child. If you agree with our reflections, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. And to our new and longtime followers, thank you very, very much. Please subscribe to my channel, AngKampanero, the voice of truth, the sound of history. And as we always remind everyone, let's keep the bell ringing for truth, justice, and freedom.